Hello family, today is the 18th of September and I come on to do a tutorial on this jacket right here. I'm going to make this one here and I'm going to use this African print here that I have. I've already started cutting the pieces out. I cut out for a size 12. Okay. I cut out for a 12. And then on this particular jacket here, which is, what is that? A on A. Let me see, let me find it on here. Okay, so on A, you would basically pick whichever one that you're going to do. Whichever one of these you're going to do, then you're going to come down here, and then all of the ones for coat A, B, and C, they're going to tell you with the letters here on the end on what piece you're going to cut for this particular jacket. So I'm going to get started. Let's go. Now, I wanted to show you how I wanted to have some continuity from the front to the back, and I wanted the patterns to be the same. So, my auntie's calling me. Hey, auntie, hold on one second. Let me get this. Let me tape this little segment right quick. Okay, so you guys see how the back, this is the center back and it's cut on a fold. But if you notice the pattern on how these blocks are strategically placed, I wanted it centered in my back as well as in the front. I'm also cutting the front at the same time, but if you check the continuity here, look at the top of the shoulder and the bottom of the armpit, and look at how it also matches here with this, the bottom of the armpit and the front, but look how the back is as well. So, you know, it might take you a little bit more material sometime to do that, or it might just simply take a lot of time on the placement on where you place your pieces. So you might not want to go totally on how it's placed here, because, okay, we're doing A, here's A, and on a 45 or a 60. Now on a 60, it's giving you a diagram on how to cut it out, and this is the diagram for a 45. Well, it's also showing that I'm supposed to start off with the flounce. I don't want to do the flounce right there. I'm doing the back and the front. So after you get accustomed to working with patterns and working with materials, you'll find your own way on how to do this, but you get it. Okay, I have all my pieces cut out here. Now, what we're going to start with, according to the directions, we're going to start with the bodice front and the bodice back. So this right here is the bodice front, and I'm going to show you what I did on this. Now, you can get some sewing chalk, and you can, you know, put your darts here to know exactly how far you want to go. Or, you know what, let me get my Sharpie. Hold on one second. Let me get my Sharpie. Because you need to know where the darts are. You need to know where these darts are. So, according to the size, it has where the darts are supposed to, the width of them and the length. So, if we're going to 12, we need to go all the way up here. So, what I'm going to do, let me show you a quick tip. Now, you could buy the chalk, or you can just use a Sharpie. So, I'm going to go up here to 12. So, I know that that's this line right here. But what I did was, I put slits in the material. Now, you could put slits in the material if you want to, or you can simply do what I'm doing right now. And that's also marking it with a Sharpie. So, that's going to be somewhere up in here. And you can see on this green here where I actually nipped it a little bit. And so now let me go up here to the length. And I'm going to go right through the pattern. There we go. So then therefore, let me show you how it bled through your pattern paper. You see what I'm saying? So it bled through your pattern paper so you know how far that you need to go to. But let me see if it bled through on the other side as well, to let me know where and how far I got to go on this side as well. So, okay. So I'm going to be going up in here. So mark here, there, and then this bled through, so that's there and that's there. Okay. Alrighty. So we're going to do that for the front, and also there's a dart on the back. Now you know we cut the back on a fold, okay? So when you take this loose, you're going to dart on both ends. So let me take this, let me show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to mark the first one, and then we're going to take the tissue off, and then we're going to mark the left side, and then we're going to mark the right side. Okay? So here, this is for D. Wait a minute, where is for A? Oh, okay. So this one here, if you're going for D, for the other one. Okay, so we're going here, here. We're going to bleed through here. Okay. With hopes that it came all the way through. Let me show you what I'm saying when I take this loose. Now, when we remove this, okay, we see that it bled through. And we have our dot. So we have our triangle there. So let's open this up. Open the fold up. Boom. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at those colors. Will you see those colors? Oh my God. Beautiful, right? Okay. So when we go back this way, now we have the darts marked for this end. Now we have to have the darts marked for the other end. So what we're simply going to do is we're going to flip this over, because this right here had for the right side. Okay. So we're going to flip it over. And the way you could tell that you're flipping it correctly is the fact that here's your armhole right here. Okay. So we're going to put that back here. Line it all back up. And we're going to mark for our darts again. Now that it is lined up, we don't want any wrinkles in the pattern nor the material. So let's make that bleed through on that, and then we're going to mark here, and we're going to mark here. Okay, now we remove this, so you see the full triangle here, here, and here. Okay, let's sew them together. So we have orange bobbin thread, and our main bobbin is also a beautiful orange, because it's pretty much our primary color here. So this is our back, so we're going to begin to do the darts. So you're going to take your triangle pieces, one triangle here, one triangle angle here, so you're going to make those triangles meet like that. Bring those triangles together, and then here's our point, so we're going to grab it that way. Okay, and then what you could do is you could lay it down to make sure it's, you know, you got the material lined up correctly, and you're looking at your marks. Okay, here's a dot, here's a dot. You're making those dots meet, and we have our top triangle piece here at the top. And when you bring them together, it's going to be somewhat of like a slant, or like, for all intents purposes, it's going to be somewhat like that. You know what I'm saying? So as I'm sewing, like, here's my like that. Okay? So if you need to do a line, do your line. If you don't need the markings, then don't do the markings. But let me get my foot. My sewing foot is what it's called. Let me get my foot together. It's tangled up in all these cords up under here. Okay. So now we have our pieces together. We have our sewing line. So now we're going to put it here. And we're going to connect dot to dot. And we're going to go down that line that I just drawn. Now, on my settings, I'm doing a straight stitch because this is not a stretch pattern. I mean, this is not stretch material. On stretch material, primarily I use zigzag and it holds the seams together better. But being that this is just a strict cotton, strictly a cotton, so we're going to go with a straight stitch. So, let's start this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to back up just slightly. Then we're going to go on back up. Try to make that line as straight as you can make it. Trying to go slow so you guys can get the gist of what I'm doing. Now when you get to the edge, you're going to back up and go back out. Okay? Now. Oh, my needle wasn't threaded. How about that? Oh my God. Guys, my needle was not even threaded. For real? Okay. All this time my needle wasn't threaded. Okay. Let's redo this again. But I'll do it off camera and then I'll come back and then show you guys that I got the darts put in the back. There's a blade here on the side of my machine that I'm able to cut my threads on right there. I guess I got a little extra long one. Okay, so now when you open up your back, now I have my 2 darts. Okay, now what the darts do, Auntie, what are the darts? What does the darts mean? Well, what the darts mean is it's giving the garment some structure and some form. It's giving those darts to contour your waist. It's a contouring effect. So now when I turn this way, okay, and you see it's still holding the integrity of the pattern. Yes, this is slightly off, but it's okay because it somewhat matches that. Okay, so what you're gonna do is now we're gonna take our iron. As I told you guys, I got stuff plugged up everywhere in here. Okay, so we're going to take the iron and we're going to press these towards the center. Okay, we're going to press the darts towards the center. And what it does is it gives it a nice, it gives the seams a nice finish and everything. Okay, it's like it's getting back hot. So now that we have our back done, let me put this back over here in the corner. Now let's get started on our front. Here on our front, we also have the same identical darting. So, again, we're going to follow this and this and this, and we're going to put those together, but we also got to have it on the opposite side. So, let's take these pins loose, flip it, and make sure our darts are in good placement. And the thing is, you can have the nicest of garment on, the nicest of gown or whatever, but if it's not tailored and it's not fitting correctly, then it's a bust. Okay, so now let's just pull these loose. Flip this one over, because once again you're going to flip this around because you're going from armhole to armhole. Matching this back up like so. And now we're going to make sure we have our markings again. So 12, which runs here to here. So it's going to be here and right here. Okay, and then we're going to put our pointed on where we stop it at, and just going to bleed through there like that. So now when we pull this off, we have our markings. Okay, so again, we pinch these guys together. We bring those together like so. We grab the corner of this, and it's going to give us that triangle effect because we're putting dot to dot. Okay, dot to dot, and we're going up this far. Now, if you need to mark it with your line to make it go across there like that, then do that. But if you don't need that line, then we're not going to worry about it. We're just going to start sewing. Okay, we're going to go this high. Okay, so and then back, because that's going to lock in that stitch. And we're going to go down to that point, get off your pressure foot, back that stitch up, let it go, and let it go out. Okay, cut your strings. Okay, now on this one is done, and we're going to press our seams to the center. Okay, so we'll be pressing those seams forward, or if you want your seams going back, it doesn't matter. But usually I always press my seams towards the center. That's just the way I was taught. That's the way my mama told me. Always press your seams to the center. Whatever that means, I don't know. But, so when I turn this over, it's gonna, the pattern is off a little bit, but once the flounce and all that stuff is on there, then therefore, you know, it is what it is. But we had to dart it, so anyway. Now let's go on to the other piece here. Again, we're going to grab these guys like this, and I'm going to grab that guy like that. Make sure these are together. It is, and that is there, and let's go. Back up, to lock in that stitch. Now I'm going to go forward. Let it go off the foot. Back that up and go out. Okay, so now we have both of those guys done. The front and the back. Now if you're going to go piece by piece by the instructions of your pattern, I suggest that if you're new to sewing, then you definitely want to go according to your pattern, because if you don't and you close some seams up and that pattern is asking for you to put the sleeve in first, you're going to be thrown off a little bit. So anyway, let me press these seams forward, and then I'll see you back in a minute on our next step.